goes to my favorite, Sean Mirza.
Film cultures have been a rich, essential part of professionally developing nations across the globe. Just around 4 years ago, our neighbors celebrated the 100th birth anniversary of their cinema. Emphasis on the word celebrated. What began as an experimental crusade of cinematic storytelling has evolved into becoming one of the world's most acknowledged and established industries, churning out more than 1,400 films a year. While us in Pakistan have only begun to meander into this uncommon convention of film fandom for those of our own. If someone was asked about 10 years ago, what's your favorite Pakistani film? The general response of a perplexed ponder was to be backed by an ignorant concern towards a forgotten platform. Although this is nowhere near how it always used to be. If you really want to understand what went wrong or why an appropriate answer lacks its place, you need to journey back to the era of national foundation of this very art. 1947 was a rough year for Pakistan. A victorious triumph may not have been the perfect phrasing for an independence consuming countless sacrifices of life and resources, contrary to the utmost relief of an oppressed minority and their rights. What was then a progressing industry of cinema decided to keep itself that way, as most of the talented filmmakers and actors opted either to stay or move back to India. Claiming independence, a few greats of what was left for the Pakistani film industry weren't ready to forfeit just yet. Only a year later, the very first Pakistani film made its debut, with many to soon follow. Gaining praise nationwide, it became a movement which only traveled uphill at the time, eventually leading up to the 60s, a golden age of Pak Cinema, gaining national and international acclaim. This promising awakening of film production among the nation, although steady in its path, could not foresight an eventual rupture within national politics of an imbalanced division. Pakistan in its early foundation, as we all know, was separated into West and East Pakistan. The same era where natives of both sides realized that their greatest battle was not in fact against oppressive tyranny, but among those of their own. Following the inevitable Bangladesh Liberation War in '71, there was an undoubted recess hitting film production. Dhaka was lost as the heart of Pak Cinema, taking with it a majority of film studios and production centers equipped with modern facilities and skilled technicians. It was not just territory we lost that year. This tragedy had in many ways voided the warranty of a once promising escapade in national history that, albeit made its best efforts to brace its wounds and keep producing films. Efforts which short-lived along with federal democracy in '78, being replaced by military dictatorship under regime of General Ziaul Haq. A tenure deemed by many as the bane of prosperity for a stabilizing industry. A new set of policies was introduced as regulations for the cinema industry, including specific degree requirements, heavy taxations, and censorship on displays of affection. This was done as reinforcement of Islamization across the country, empowering those with similar ideals, which triggered general hatred towards the art and similar consequences. The future of Pakistani cinema crumbled at the hands of this new agenda, crashing not necessarily to the ground, but towards a different direction altogether, welcoming an unconventional hero to succeed the cause, who, instead of holding up a torch in his hand, held the Gandasa. It wasn't long until keen filmmakers had developed elusive iterations for the medium with a unique appeal to a completely different audience. These were movies with diminished mottos and utopian paradigms, whose censor board permitted violence was key to their grandeur, where broad shoulders, a pumped chest, and intimidating mustache, all held together by a godlike ego, were the characteristics of an ideal man. A utopia where village women were free to wear what and roam where they wanted. Empowered to the brink where all they craved was a real man who'd intervene into her life only to shatter her bubble of pride and dominance. Which used to be hinted at throughout the films as seductive rituals inviting companionship, either before or after she'd won said man's heart. This variety in cinema seemed to serve a specific major market and was quick to gain popularity as the new face of Pakistani cinema, subduing latter's very identity and the Branchal taking over the throne. This new style had evolved into the formula for success past the restrictions and exploited repetitively for decades as mere investments of profit. Success which was although no progress in the name of art and discouragement to authentic filmmakers, who eventually quit the industry. Along with the wearing out of martial law, so did national cinema and its originality. How does one vision hope for a dying media which left behind no promises?
Put your hands up, Pecoraro!
This was a question which at the time didn't require an immediate answer. New production companies were quick to resort to drama serials, developing the television into an influential medium of entertainment, invested in as an opportunity for prosperity of local media, endowing to cinema a temporary abandonment. That's how much of focus and concern shifted away from our film industry towards the TV industry, both nationally and internationally.
A round of applause for Humsafar!
Humsafar.
For Humsafar!
Nurturing an appreciated talent pool amidst its success and setting foot as representable Pakistani entertainment. This was the same time when Indian media had had an evolving influence on local culture, yet our TV shows managed to stick to a more traditional Iranian art house style of storytelling, securing their own uniquely successful identity. Fast forward a decade into the millennium, it was although the same influence that encouraged these now production giants to tap into a resurging market, following the critical acclaim of a few ventures as modern cinema. The rebirth has since been in waves of sorts. While there have been movies with transparent ambitions to bring back cinema, there are those with questionable schemes. Okay, I'm talking about a well-recognized trend that plagues global cinema, an epidemic of unoriginal movies which cash in their forced storylines, weak dialogue, and repetitive forms of comedy.
So much fun! M.A.
Emmett?
Mashallah, mashallah.
Oh.
Entertainment and action.
There's only one thing that stands between him and Pakistan. I don't do this anymore.
Maybe don't. Addressing to the same concern, director Nabil Qureshi mentioned, "We don't need parallel cinema right now." Now, I'm not saying that the very existence of such films is obnoxious. They genuinely exist because the audience wants them to. But if they're all you demand to watch and support as the new face of your cinema, then that's not a good thing. Although among this expanding web of adopted successes, it's appreciable to notice a parallel growth in number of ambitious and original films, which over time are proving to be essentially relevant. And the beauty of this emerging culture is that it couldn't have been at a better time. Its audience has grown and groomed both socially and culturally. It is a lot more accepting and tolerant towards new ideas, new perspectives. They're a lot more prepared and eager to follow what's next, what's new and what's interesting. This is the new age of Pakistani cinema. It's this exact progress that has been nurturing promising new grounds of opportunity, open to all. At this point, we're far from worrying about the future of our cinema. Heck, we are the future. This movement is centered around a digital revolution. An HD camera is on the phone you're probably watching this on. See, films are an excellent medium of influential storytelling. Stories with lessons, stories with messages, stories of inspiration, of motivation, stories of pure entertainment. And there can't be a better time for you to tell yours. No longer do there have to be excuses for the lack of resources or luck. Enthusiast and determined filmmakers need to set out themselves to produce quality work and let the doubts answer themselves. These gambles are chances that need to be taken. And to me, it's these combined efforts which will solidify the roots of modern Pakistani films. Their faith has to be way beyond an award. It has to be the duty to reinstill life into the very seed they originated from. To foster and nurture an obsolete ecosystem which promises not only financial success but fulfillment and pride to its supporters for generations to come. Because it's not just the cinema that's surviving. Our hopes are too. Thank you so much for watching, guys. It took everything out of me to finally be able to complete this. There's a lot of footage of views towards the end. It's out of my own films that I made in the past. If you want to watch them, I'll link them down below. And if you like this video, you can subscribe right here for more. I have tons of similar ideas coming up. So stay tuned and I will see you soon.